The Red Eye Radio Million Mile Club, devoted to trucking safety. Register online at redeyeradioshow.com. If you depend on a truck to make a living, then American Trucker is for you. Every day, Trucker.com is packed with information you need to keep your truck running and the money rolling. From new products to the latest in regulations, American Trucker has what you need to know. American Trucker staff knows that you are running a small business, and they work hard to bring you news and information that matters. So don't miss American Trucker's free newsletter. Go to Trucker.com. That's Trucker.com and sign up today. Sponsored by Fleet Owner.
Jobs, finances, everything's so crazy. I just want to be in control. With Sam, I can.
Sam is Smart About Money, a free online resource from the nonprofit National Endowment for Financial Education. Get empowered. Reach your financial goals. Visit samican.org.
Septic tanks are used where municipal sewers are not available, and maintenance is important. Failing septic tank systems can endanger your family, pollute the environment, and can be expensive to repair. You can prevent your system from failing by having your tank pumped every 3 to 5 years, keep a separate container for grease and dispose of it properly. Use detergents low in phosphates and spread laundry over several days as to not overload the system with too much water. This message brought to you by the Alabama Department of Public Health and this station.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better, and kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
He's smart, witty, and fast on the draw. It's Mark Levin this afternoon at 5 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Hurley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Coming up following the top of the hour, more on Title 42, now gone, and what that means for the border. We'll get to more specifics on that. Any update of what's going on right now? Anybody, if there's any breaking news, we'll have that for you. Plus, the Biden family and the business that they're in. We'll get to that and more coming up. It is Red Eye Radio.
Top of the Hour News is brought to you by House Products. Visit houseproducts.com.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.
FPPF introduces Fuel Power Maximum Formula. Get the new Fuel Power Maximum Formula at truck stops and other retail outlets throughout North America. Visit FPPF.com. Eric Harley and Gary McNamara for the Eden Pure Thunderstorm Air Purifier. Do you like the way your home smells? Serious question. Do you notice the odors? They stack up. Cigarettes, cooking, diapers. The Eden Pure Thunderstorm Air Purifier uses cutting-edge oxy technology to quickly eliminate any odor, guaranteed. With over 300,000 units sold, you can trust that it works.
And don't forget those stinky litter boxes, trash cans, cigarette smoke, even dirty diapers. Gets rid of the odors in just minutes. The powerful thunderstorm sends out O3 molecules that destroy odors, even in hard-to-reach places, and there are no filters to buy ever again.
Right now, you can get 3 thunderstorms for under $200 with a $200 discount. Place one in your basement, your bedroom, your family room, put them all over the house. Go to EdenPureDeals.com. Use discount code REDEYE to save $200. That's EdenPureDeals.com. Discount code REDEYE, and shipping is free. Hey, owner-operators, succeed on your own terms with Mercer Transportation. Whenever, wherever, and however you prefer to run, Mercer has the support you need to make your business successful. They offer fuel discounts, fast pay after every load, plenty of freight with over 3,100 customers and over 500,000 loads per year. No company trucks to compete with, and discounts on tires, insurance, and more. Pick your loads or let their coordinators help you find the right freight. Visit mercertown.com today. mercertown.com.
Red Eye Radio and our sponsors are devoted to trucking safety. That's why we are proud to bring you the Red Eye Radio Million Mile Club. We've been saluting drivers who have surpassed the million-mile mark with preventable, accident-free driving. By reaching this milestone, you can be a part of an elite club of drivers who share remarkable safety records and demonstrate superior driving skills. If you or someone you know is a truck driver with 1 million miles or more of driving under your belt without a preventable accident, register online at redeyeradioshow.com. That's redeyeradioshow.com. The Red Eye Radio Million Mile Club would not be possible without the generous support of the fine folks from Petro Stopping Centers, House Lubricator, Motel 6, the St. Christopher Fund, and Cat Scale. We applaud the individual truckers and fleets who drive with care and keep our highways safe. The Red Eye Radio Million Mile Club, devoted to trucking safety. Register online at redeyeradioshow.com.
The St. Christopher Truckers Relief Fund is excited to once again offer its diabetes prevention program, Driving Down Diabetes. This free CDC-approved year-long program begins January 9th, 2023, with live webinars focusing on nutrition, movement, stress management, sleep, and more. Sponsored by Southern Recipe, this program is for those at risk not already diagnosed with diabetes. Go to truckersfund.org, take the risk assessment located under the Health and Wellness tab, and sign up today.
News Radio 1440 is WLWI AM and 95.1 HD3 FM of Montgomery, a Cumulus media station.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The pandemic-era rule that allowed officials to turn away asylum seekers at the border expired several hours ago. Federal Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz says a massive swell is waiting to get in.
Upwards of 60,000 migrants we project are staging in and around the immediate border area.
KCBS TV's Michelle Geely is in the Tijuana River Valley.
This man, his wife and sister came from Ecuador. They walked the entire way due to a lack of funds. It was a difficult 45-day journey. They have joined the others who are huddled together in the cold, many of them wrapped in thermal blankets. We met people from Turkey, Colombia, and Southern Africa.
President Biden was supposed to meet with congressional leaders again today to discuss ways to avoid a possible government default. But talks have been postponed until next week. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
The White House didn't cancel the meeting. All of the leaders decided it's probably in the best of our interest to let the staff meet again before we get back together.
Former Marine Daniel Penny is scheduled to appear at court in New York City today to face manslaughter charges for choking a man named Jordan Neely to death in a subway car. WCBS TV's Jennifer Bisram.
Now, witnesses say on May 1st, Neely, who was homeless and often performed on the subway, was acting erratically and screaming on the train before Penny tried to subdue him. Penny's attorney has maintained he never intended to harm Neely.
One of two inmates who escaped from the Philadelphia Correctional Center last week after cutting a hole in a fence is back in custody. Deputy U.S. Marshal Robert Clark says they caught up with him in North Philly.
A male resembling Mr. Grant came out of a residence wearing full female Muslim garb and a head covering. That gentleman piqued our interest.
Grant was being held on drug and gun charges. A second person charged with 4 counts of murder has not been found. The IRS is taking steps to protect the identity of its workers. Here's CBS's Cammie McCormick.
The tax agency says it will start limiting its workers' personal identifying information with taxpayers starting next month. That's to protect them from being tracked down on social media and threatened in any way. The changes will include removing their first names from communications. The concern is the threats will only grow as the IRS hires more workers to go after tax cheats.
2 social workers in Florida say they were headed to a transgender celebration in Orlando and decided to pick up a cake at a Publix. They were turned down when they requested a message be piped on top in pink, reading "Trans people deserve joy." They say they wrote it themselves in the parking lot. This
Right
is
on.
CBS News.
Ain't at it.
Need to hire
Tired of hearing about it.
fast?
You do you.
Their
I do me.
hiring platform helps
And
you
that's when you would not worry about it.
and hire candidates all in one
There's
place.
no such thing as trans nothing.
Let's see, something
It don't exist.
people are happier with
It don't exist. You don't turn yourself from one thing to another. At least not that I know of. But I am open for the suggestion. I'm open for the suggestion. I am. Prove it to me and I'll shut up. I will shut up about it. Prove it to me. Show me one man that's turned himself into a woman, and I will give in. Or one woman that turned herself into a man. Just show it to me. Give me the word. Just show it to me. I'm good. I am good. I am good.
Right now, and get a price within 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 866-88-BIBLE. That's 866-88-BIBLE. 866-88-BIBLE.
Michael Jordan's Dream Team jacket can be yours for a price. The red, white, and blue Reebok jacket that Michael Jordan famously and grudgingly wore while receiving an Olympic gold medal in Barcelona in 1992 hits the auction block. Sotheby's has the offering that will run through June 28th and estimates it could fetch anywhere from $1 million to $3 million.
Wow.
Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News. A giant turtle nicknamed Chunkosaurus has become an internet sensation after a couple of kayakers shared a video of the giant amphibian that's been hanging out in the Chicago River.
Oh my God, it's a massive turtle. Is that a snapper? He's a snapper. Look at that beast. Hey, how you doing, guy? You look good. We should take him out to eat.
The group Friends of the Chicago is warning people not to get too close to the giant turtle, which came out to sunbathe on a pile of rusty chains and rocks. Most snappers, it says, are ill-tempered and capable of producing a serious bite. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Chico's knows. Chico's really knows. Chico's has served the river region for over 40 years. Now they invite you to get to know Chico's Auto Pros, an all-new full-service automotive service center specializing in 5-star customer service for all your collision repair, auto service, and tire needs. Conveniently located on Atlanta Highway, just minutes from the Eastern Bypass in downtown. Chico's also knows convenient loaner car service, after-hours key drop-off, and even financing options for all things auto. Call Chico's Auto Pros today at 239-9510. Chico's knows.
We're excited to present the It's Dodge Season sales event now through May 31st. We have our best selection ever of 2023 Dodge Challenger, including RT Scat Pack. The 2023 Dodge Durangos are also on the ground, and on select models you may qualify for $2,500 retail consumer cash and $750 bonus cash. Shop us online at houseandautomotive.com. House and Automotive. Drive a little, save a lot.
If your to-do list requires work on the land, come see us at SunSouth. We listen to your needs so you get the right equipment and the right implements at a price you can afford. And during our spring sales event at SunSouth, you can save even more with store-wide specials and financing as low as 0% on select John Deere models. So you can get the to-do list done faster, more efficiently, and more affordably. For your equipment needs, come see us at SunSouth. Equipment for those that
Offers expire May 30, 2023. Restrictions apply.
Another Guardian Credit Union story.
Hey, are we filming the same as usual?
Yeah.
How's our baby girl doing?
She's great, but with 3 kids, we really need more space.
You should check out Guardian Credit Union. We got a home equity line of credit from Guardian to finish our basement. They have low rates and a great team that's easy to work with.
Really?
Yeah, my mom got a Guardian home loan to buy her house. They refinance too.
Thanks. I'll check them out.
Connect with Guardian for all your lending needs.
Don't miss Sean Hannity.
Biden incoherently adheres
Live this afternoon at 2 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
your WSFA First Alert weather forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Discover.
Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome at the end of your first year. They automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right. Everything you've earned doubles. The cash back from trips, restaurants, all doubled. Seriously though, see terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
Another summer-like day on the way today. Temperatures topping out in the mid to upper 80s. It will be warm, it will be muggy, and there will be some scattered showers and thunderstorms this afternoon and this evening. More showers and storms possible for Mother's Day weekend, but the chances come down a little bit. We'll call it 30% covered. Isolated showers and storms Mother's Day weekend, both Saturday and Sunday. And additional chances for showers and storms, yeah, they're there heading into next week. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Sons Automotive, family owned, family driven on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Right now we've got one accident that's been reported. Please use caution. Highway 231 Troy Highway down below Sweet Creek Farm Market. It's just before Highway 82. It is a major crash, so please use caution if you're heading to Troy this morning. If you see something else giving you trouble with traffic, safely contact us. We'll pass the info off. Outside of that problem on Troy Highway, we are clear. Clear as far as accidents go, but we do have a tree blocking the road with Guinness at Woodley. Forget your money, just bring your good credit to Reinhardt Used Car Supercenter. Drive home today. Reinhardt Used Car Supercenter, only East Boulevard. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch traffic, this is Major Delay.
Good morning, I'm Jasmine Williams at WSFA 12 News. Here's what's happening this Friday. More proof of the growing opioid crisis in Alabama. Some law enforcement in our area say it's harder to get a hold of Narcan, drugs used to reverse fentanyl overdoses. Macon County Sheriff traveled from Tuskegee to Macon this week to buy Narcan. The sheriff says there's been a shortage in his office for a while and it's something they desperately need. Recently, they had to use the drug to help an Alabama state trooper who got sick while picking someone to Macon County Jail. The city of Selma is set to open the city cemetery today. The cemetery has been closed since January's tornado. At the city council meeting, council members took the contractor to start moving what's left of the storm debris. Saturday marks the return of the annual farmers market at the South Main Place in Montgomery. We'll feature more than 20 local vendors, and this is the 19th year for the market. It will be open each Saturday through mid-September. I'm Jasmine Williams with your Morning Headlines.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Research shows that successful ad campaigns share 8 characteristics. Radio is the only local media option that delivers all 8 of them. Radio reaches your potential customers close to the point of purchase. It provides local consumer interactions with emotional connections that build trust and credibility for your business. Radio is unskippable and quick. You get your message out in 24 to 48 hours, and radio is very affordable. That's why radio consistently gives you the highest return on investment, and it's also why it should always be your base media buy. Research also confirms that marketing campaigns generate even higher returns, starting at a 19% lift when they are on more than one platform. That's why Cumulus offers a variety of effective digital solutions to enhance your base radio.
To enhance your radio buy.
Deliver a coordinated radio and digital campaign that will get your business results. Hi, I'm Sonia Thompson, and it's my job to get your business results on News Radio 1440. To learn more about how to get started, go to newsradio1440.com and click on Grow Your Business.
When your business information is missing or inconsistent across the internet, search engines won't find you, and customers won't either. Help ensure customers see you and not your competitors. Boost your findability. Cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle.
Good morning, everybody.
In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Telling it like it really is. It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440.
And here we go. All right.
You need to reset. Refocus on your day. The moment where you take a deep breath and change the focus from the problem to the problem solver. This is Decisions with Kevin Elkins.
Tomorrow morning, if you wake up and the sun does not appear.
And good morning, Montgomery, Alabama. It is time to rise and shine once again. For it is once again, you're on top of the ground, and the ground's not on top of you. Good morning. I'm Kevin Elkins, and this is News Radio 1440 on your AM dial, our social media, however you catch us in the mornings. We certainly are thankful and appreciate your patronage. Okay? You're my customer, so I'm here to do the job for you, at least most of the time anyway. Anyway, good morning to you. It is time for our daily bread, a word from on high, something that'll change your perspective or give you a new one. Either way, it's good for the soul. Today's daily bread, May the 12th, is how's my driving? Our scriptural insight today comes from James 1:19 through 26. But to start us off, James 1:19 and 20. It reads, everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God deserves. Govern yourselves accordingly. Good morning to you. Again, it is May the 12th. It is a day like all the other days of the past that has never been. It is a day that won't ever come again. And once it's gone, you don't get a do-over. You don't get it back. You don't get to summon it from the past. You don't get to come back and do all the things that you should have done this day that you don't. And you certainly don't get a chance to come back and undo the things that you do. So whatever it is that you do with this day, May the 12th, make sure that when tomorrow, if tomorrow should be, you be glad and proud of what you have done on this day. If you've been around a while, like I tell you every morning, you've heard many yesterdays. And if we are blessed and given the grace and mercy of God, we may, I'm not sure, we may see some tomorrows. But if tomorrow should never be, then it is this day. That is the first day of the rest of our lives. What are we going to do with them? Well, whatever you do, while you can, for as long as you can, until you can't, reach back every once in a while and help somebody else along the way. After all, somebody helped you. Benjamin Elijah May said, whatever you do in life, you should do it so well, no man living, no man dead, no man yet to be born can do it any better. And I say, if that is the standard by which you live your life, you shall always be successful. Oh, you'll fail at a thing or two, but you'll never be a failure until you quit. We say, give out, rest if you can, but never quit. Never, ever give up. Because quitters never win. And while winners may lose every once in a while, they never quit. And no matter what happens this day, remember this. It is a great day to be alive.
Welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Our reading titled, How's My Driving? Was written by Adam R. Holtz. Arg! I yelled as the repair truck cut in front of me. That's when I saw the message, How's my driving? And a phone number. I picked up my phone and dialed. A woman asked me why I was calling, and I vented my frustration. So she took down the truck's number. Then she said warily, "You know, you can always call to report someone who's driving nicely." Ouch! Her tired words instantly punctured my smug self-righteousness. Embarrassment flooded me. In my zeal for justice, I hadn't paused to consider how my rage-filled tone could affect this woman in her difficult job. The disconnect between my faith and my fruitfulness in that moment was devastating. The gap between our actions and our convictions is what the book of James focuses on. In James chapter 1, verses 19 through 20, we read, "My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires." Later he adds, "Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says." None of us is perfect. Sometimes our driving in life needs help, the kind that starts with confession and asks for God's help, trusting Him to keep filing the rough edges of our character. Our scripture reading for today is from the book of James, chapter 1, verses 19 through 26. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. Therefore, get rid of all moral filth and the evil that is so prevalent, and humbly accept the word planted in you, which can save you. Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like someone who looks at his face in a mirror and, after looking at himself, goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. But whoever looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues in it, not forgetting what they have heard, but doing it, they will be blessed in what they do. Those who consider themselves religious and yet do not keep a tight rein on their tongues deceive themselves, and their religion is worthless.
Amen. Cussing people out, being mean to them.
Let's pray. Father, sometimes our anger takes over.
Yes, it does.
We say hurtful things that we immediately regret. When we do lose our temper, give us the courage and humility to seek forgiveness, to help us grow in Christ's likeness, so that our relationships can grow deep and strong. Thank you, Lord. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thanks for listening today. I'm Stephen Tabor, and today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Court. Oh, team. Who?
Airborne.
Here we go.
Okay, no PT today, but we still got to get up, all right? This is Reveille. Time to rise and shine, if you can.
We run to the sun, no sweat, not yet, down in the mess hall on my knees, down in the mess hall on my knees. We got nothing to eat but a can of beans, nothing to eat but a can of beans. The bread was molded and the meat was bad. The bread was molded and the meat was bad. Well, you know darn well that you can't eat that. Hey, you know darn well that you can't eat that. Here we go, all the way, gotta be rough and tough, airborne.
All the way. When I was young, always wanted to be in the second airborne, knees in the breeze. Now that I'm here, I'm gonna do it right. Jump from an aircraft while in flight. All the way, airborne, airborne. Time to rise and shine, people. All the way, airborne, airborne, all the way, driving on, driving on.
Early one morning in the drizzling rain.
Well, I picked up my parachute and boarded the plane. Jump master said 1 minute to go. Green light, leave with the clearing blow. All the way, airborne, airborne, all the way, driving on. Driving on. Driving on.
All the way, airborne, airborne, all the way, driving on, driving on, driving on. Here we go, all the way.
All the way.
Gotta be.
Gotta be rough and tough. Airborne. All the way. All right, no PT today. So we have our audio presentation. It's a great day to be alive. I love this one. It always teaches me something about it. So sorry about that. You guys got to hear it one more time. No PT, but we will pay homage to all of our armed forces of these United States of America: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. And that's coming from Sergeant Elkins. That's me. I know. You got to know my other name. Yeah. Don't make me act like a drill sergeant out here, okay? So pay homage to all of our armed forces. And don't forget our local guys: Montgomery Police Department, Montgomery Fire Department, Montgomery Maintenance Department, Montgomery Sanitation Department. And I'm not kissing up, but I am paying homage to the mayor, and since he is the guy that's in charge of things, All right? See, people think I be kissing. No. The good book says, give honor to whom honors due. He's the mayor. We got to say nice things to him and about him and all kinds of things, at least publicly. Anyway, good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine, people. And thank God that there are young men and women who are still willing to sit on the fence, who say to themselves every night, not on my watch. Airborne.
We're always ready for the call. We praise our trust in thee. Through howling gale and shout and shell to win our victory. Send bird for darkness is our guide. Our praise and honor too. We're always ready to war die. I'm standing by my head. On we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they go, to our thunder. And boy, give it the gun. And we die, starting a big run under one terrible rock. We live to face another day, for nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force.
All right, you ought to be up by now. And hopefully you got a wake-up call. I did. Thankful for that. Didn't have to be. Could have been someplace else. Thank you there, Major.
You're welcome.
That's Major. That's our traffic guy out there. You know.
I'm
Plus,
back.
he likes to see greatness at work.
Cool.
All right then. Marines. I haven't told you guys about the Marine Corps name, about the story about how they kind of like stuck it to me a little bit. All I wanted was that white hat and them white gloves. That's all I wanted. I'd have went through basic training 14 times that I had to make it. But I'm pretty sure I would have made it. I know. There are those out there. Yeah, there are those out there that don't think I would have made a good Marine. But I would have made an outstanding Marine. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm okay, maybe for the years out, I'll tell you my story one more time because people don't believe me. They just don't believe what I'm telling. But I'm telling you the truth. Anyway, let's take a break. We'll come back. It's a great day to be alive. That's our audio piece for the day because I love this piece. It always puts me in the right frame of mind for a Friday. It is Friday. It's like weekend eve or something like that. Got a guest coming up. Mickey McDermott coming up sometime. Isaiah Sankey is going to show. He's not coming forever. We're not going to No politics, but he is going to tell you about something today, sometime in the next hour. Also, we got a new sponsor coming up about 7:30. So we got a lot of things going on, and I'm gonna try for once to get this piece that I was trying to put. Oh, wait, hold. Here's what I need to do. I need to know if you guys can actually hear this piece on the air, because I've been trying for like a week to get this thing to play, and I finally went out and redid it the other day. So can anybody? Can somebody hear this?
To inform the council,
Now, does anybody hear that on the radio?
they range from toddler books.
Okay, I just need, because I don't want to play this if you can't really hear it. Okay. All right. I'm just seeing if anybody. Okay. All right. Look, transgender, that word again. Anyway, so if you heard that, text me and tell me you heard it. If you didn't hear it, then I guess you didn't hear it anyway. But anyway, because I want to play this. This stuff is going over in Prattville. I mean, I am fit to be tied. Okay, and to have a city council over there that sit there like dumb knots on a log. Except one guy said something, but well, I don't think it's our job to decide what the library holds. Well, I don't think it's your job to tell me that I shouldn't drink and drive. I mean, if I like drinking and driving and I like it, why can't I do it? Okay. I mean, so we always make laws. All of our laws are predicated on the common good. Okay. All of our laws are predicated on the common good. Now, again, if we could spend as much time being dedicated to the proposition that everybody needs to learn how to read, write, and do arithmetic in school, we wouldn't have time for these conversations about what you think you are sexually. Okay, I mean, we just wouldn't have the time. It's hard enough figuring out how to read and write, but I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm just gonna leave that alone, and go to our break, and we'll come back. But it's a great day to be alive. Anybody got any complaints about that? I didn't think so. We'll be back.
WSFA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Discover. Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome at the end of your first year. They automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right. Everything you've earned, doubled. The cash back from trips, restaurants, all doubled. Seriously though, see terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
Another summer-like day on the way today. Temperatures topping out in the mid to upper 80s. It will be warm, it will be muggy, and there will be some scattered showers and thunderstorms this afternoon and this evening. More showers and storms possible for Mother's Day weekend, but the chances come down a little bit. We'll call it 30% coverage. Isolated showers and storms Mother's Day weekend, both Saturday and Sunday. And additional chances for showers and storms, yeah, they're there heading into next week.
That's your First Alert Forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Sons Automotive, family owned, family driven on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Highway 231, Troy Highway, southbound just before Highway 82. We've got a major accident there, so please use caution if you're heading to Troy. Outside of that, we're looking pretty good. We do have a tree down blocking the road, McGinnis at Woodley Road. Incredible values are at Premier Place Shop, Tato Fashion, Sally Beauty, Professional Nails and Spa, America's Best Contacts and Eyeglasses, and more. Premier Place in Prattville, another great Clinton and Company development. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch traffic, this is Major Delay.
In 2016, Pokemon Go changed gaming as the world knew it. The game has greatly evolved since its release, but Pokemon Go may soon come to an end thanks to the developer. When COVID hit, developer Niantic created an item that let users play the game from home instead of venturing outside. But in a recent update, Niantic limited the item and made it more expensive, which led to a mass exodus and outrage of fans. Will this be the end of an era for Pokemon Go?
The latest esports and gaming.
Pokemon.
I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, probably a good issue.
But the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit NoTimeToWait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Classic.
Hi neighbors, it's Aaron Cresswell here. Allison Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. We're excited to present the It's Dodge Season sales event now through May 31st. We have our best selection ever of 2023 Dodge Challengers, including RT Scatback. The 2023 Dodge Durangos are also on the ground, and on select models you may qualify for $2,500 retail consumer cash and $750 bonus cash. Shop us online at houseautomotive.com. House Automotive. Drive a little, save a lot.
Madam's Aesthetic Lounge, Montgomery's new lash, brow, and facial spa, is now open. Madam's Aesthetic Lounge, located at 8713 Crossland Loop, specializes in facial services, full body sugaring, and lash and brow services. Still thinking about that Mother's Day gift you have to get? Think Madam's Aesthetic Lounge. Give your loved one a haven of tranquility at Madam's Aesthetic Lounge. They work to help their clients feel beautiful inside and out. Madam's Aesthetic Lounge, 8713 Crossland Loop Road. Call 334-293-1033. And right now, they're offering you a sweet deal just in time for Mother's Day. Head to this station's website for a $50 gift certificate for just $25. For every $25 you spend, you get a $50 gift certificate. This deal is perfect for Mother's Day. This is sure to sell out quick, so act fast. Head to this station's website and take advantage of a sweet deal for Madam's Aesthetic Lounge just in time for Mother's Day. Visit this station's website and click on Sweet Deal. Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
I'm Martin Hope, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I told you about how your nose is the body's air filter. That Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Haley, quote, Navage is the best thing I've bought. I love it. My nose feels so clear now and I can breathe. I've been struggling with a stuffy nose for weeks. I bought Navage and it's amazing. Or this one. I use Navage every night, could not imagine life without it. I have 5 cats, and before I found Navage, I was a clogged mess. Now I breathe so much better, unquote. Those are true of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Telling it like it really is.
That's the fact.
It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440.
My grandmother became my first hero. Growing up, my grandmother never used an alarm clock. But every morning, my grandmother would wake up at 4:15. And at 4:16, her feet would hit the floor, usually right in front of my face. And that's what would wake me up. But I would lay there and I would pretend like I was still asleep, because me and 4:15 really didn't get along. But grandma would look at the back of my head. I could feel her staring at me, and then finally she would say, "Now, sugar, grandmama know you ain't sleep. You just supposed to go on and get on up and get ready for school." And my grandmother was known for saying things that would kind of make you a little angry because they made so much sense and you couldn't argue with her. Parents, you know, there's things that when you become parents, you start to say to your own kids. And my grandmother would say, "Now, son, you knew when you laid down there last night that you had to get up this morning. I don't know why every single morning you lay there and act surprised. You ought to be thankful that the Lord saw fit to wake you up in your right mind." But what my grandmother was encouraging me to do was simply to be grateful for the opportunity. In spite of all that I had been through in my life, she just wanted to make sure that I understood the opportunity that I've been given. My life got started. It was a little rough start. I was born 2 months premature. My mother was walking up a flight of stairs, and she didn't know this at the time, but a woman she had had an argument with earlier was standing above her holding a pot of boiling water. As my mom made her way up those stairs, that woman dumped that water onto my mom and sent her tumbling down the stairs into premature labor. She received third-degree burns to over 25% of her body. When we were finally allowed to leave the hospital, as you can imagine, my mom was in a great deal of pain. Those burns just barely missed her face and covered most of the front of her body. So when we got home, she began taking a heavy sedative, pain medication to help her recover. When she took that medication, it was very difficult for her to watch me, so I would bounce around a lot. I'd stay with my mom for a little bit, and then I'd go stay with grandma, and I'd stay with some neighbors, aunties, and then back to my mother's house. I did that for the first 3 years of my life. I was 3 years old, I was back at my mom's house, and I got into her purse, I found that medication, I swallowed everything in the bottle. When they found me, they rushed me to the hospital, and my heart would stop, and eventually I went into a coma. But because of that accident, because of that incident, the state of California, they did an investigation. And the conclusion that they came to was that it wasn't an accident. They removed me from my mother's home, made a ward of the state, and eventually I went into a foster care system. Shortly after I arrived to one of my foster homes, to my foster mom, her name was Miss Alexander. Miss Alexander began locking me inside the closet in the library. She'd open the closet door, and she'd kick me with a stick or a strap or whatever she had. It was while I was in that foster home that I was sexually abused for the first time in my life. And oftentimes people ask, if that has to be the worst thing that could happen to someone. I have scars on my body that you can't see. I have a burn here on my hand that she put there with an iron. But all of that pain went away. The worst thing that Mrs. Alexander would do is she would open the closet door, she would stand over me, and she would say, "You're stupid," and make me never amount to nothing. And that hurt me more than any of the physical kicks or the physical pain because I believed it for a long time. I believed that I would never amount to anything, just like she said. I didn't know this at the time. I found out a little bit later, but my grandmother, my hero, she had started going back and forth to court, trying to prove that she could take care of an active, handsome little boy. And eventually, the state of California, they granted her full custody of me. And I'll never forget, standing on Miss Alexander's front porch waiting. She had my little belongings, everything that I had. I remember standing there, and it may have only been a half an hour, but it felt like an eternity. And I can remember thinking maybe no one's coming. But after a while, at the end of the block, I see the ugliest car I've ever seen in my life. And the car pulls up right in front of the porch. And I remember all I could see are these two big glass bifocals. I found out later that Grandma had glaucoma. She wasn't supposed to be driving. But she gets out of that big car and she's got on this white floppy hat with this, there was a flower right there in the middle. And I remember she had on this long white dress that came all the way down to her ankles. And I found out later that, that was Grandma's Sunday best. It was an outfit that she only reserved for special occasions. And I can remember for once in my life feeling like I was some special occasion. I remember jumping into Grandma's arms and squeezing her, and I remember her whispering and saying to me, "Everything's okay. You're family." And everything was okay, just like Grandmother said. And I had a lot to look forward to. I found out that my mom was going to court trying to prove that she could take care of me. And I can remember sitting there with my mother, and we talk, and we had a lot of different conversations. One thing I can remember saying, "Mama, one day when I get big, I'm gonna buy you a nice house with a fireplace." I said, "Mama, one day I'm gonna buy you a nice car." Not like Grandma, I'm gonna get you a nice one. But the truth is, I just really wanted to become a family again, and that's what I look forward to. When I was 12 years old, I was asleep on my grandmother's floor. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning. We get a knock on the door. It was my mom's roommate. Miss Howell, come quick." Miss Howell was my grandma. She said, "Come quick, it's Ruth." I said, "Mom." She said, "I can't wake her up. I think she's dead." And I can remember laying on that floor, kind of wishing it was, hoping that it was maybe a dream. But it wasn't. And that's how I found out that all the hopes and dreams and things that I had to look forward to weren't going to happen. I became very angry. I became confused. I was hurt. I didn't really understand what was happening. I started acting out, hanging out with wrong people, breaking into houses, started stealing cars. I remember not really caring what happened to me. I continued that behavior until I was 19. When I was 19, I found myself standing in front of a judge. I was handcuffed, had a chain around my waist, and my handcuffs were attached to that chain. The judge looked at me and says, the state of California sentences you to 15 years in prison for armed robbery and assault. That day, when that door closed behind me for the first time as a convicted felon, I remember standing in that empty cell. I remember my knees started to get weak and they started to shake uncontrollably. I collapsed and I fell to the floor. I just started crying alone. I can remember hearing voices. I heard the voice of my foster mom saying, "You're stupid, and you will never amount to nothing." I heard the voice of family members and friends of family that said, that boy's gonna end up just like his father. My father was a career criminal, he died in prison. I can remember laying there thinking to myself that this is where I'm gonna die. But here's what happened that would change my life. Shortly after I arrived to that prison, there was an educator there. His name was Charles Lyles, 6'3", ex-Marine. I don't know what it was about me, but every time he saw me, he said, "Hey, Mr. Humphrey." He had this big smile on his face, a smile that my kids would say, "That's creepy." But he smiled and he said, "Hey, Mr. Humphrey, how you doing?" He always called me Mr. Humphrey. He gave me that respect. He walked into my cell. He looked at me and he said, "Mr. Humphrey," he says, "prison doesn't have to be your life." He says, "You can get out of here and you can do great things." He started to walk away, and before he walked out of my cell, he turned around one last time and he says, "Mr. Humphrey." I said, "Yes, sir." He says, "I believe in you." He walked out of my cell. If he had continued to stand there, he would have seen the tears running down my face because no one had ever said that to me. But I remember thinking to myself, I'm going to make some changes and I'm going to change my life. And a little over 4 years after the day I originally collapsed and fell to the floor, I walked out of that prison on the road. That was over 18 years ago. I've never been back other than to mentor and help other people. But here's what I know. I know that when you've had a rough life, when you feel unwanted, I know that when you have hopes and dreams and when you have things that you can look forward to, and when you have people in place that support you and push you, I know that that gives you a reason to live. It is a great day
to be alive.
It's something that I haven't always said, but now it's something that I say to myself every single day at some point. Great day or bad day, that's something that I say. But what I also understand is that what my grandmother was thanking her higher power for each and every day was for the opportunity that she'd been given. And she never missed an opportunity to tell anyone that would listen, especially me, it's a great day to be alive.
It is a great day. It is a great day to be alive. I never get tired of hearing this. 6:45 in the morning on a Friday morning, weekend eve. Yeah, the weekend is upon us. Hopefully we'll make it through it. Well, good morning to you. Now it's time. You know what time it is. It is time for Lessons of Life and the Word of the Day. Now, as soon as I can find the Word of the Day, wherever it's at on this computer here. There it is. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm Kevin Elkins, and this is News Radio 1440. It is the most interesting talk show on the airwaves. I'm the most interesting person on the airwaves because I even confuse myself. So don't worry about it. Oh, one more thing. Okay? I did a little trick the other night. I'll make this fast. I did a trick the other night in the refrigerator, knowing that the cheese and bologna are talking to each other. Okay, I did a little trick. So here's the deal. I turned up the lights in the kitchen, and I heard them in there. Except the cheese thought that my ham was bologna, and it wasn't bologna, so they couldn't communicate. It was like speaking Chinese and speaking English. So when I walked in there, the bologna was on the bottom shelf, the cheese was on the bottom shelf. They were fighting. They were fighting in the refrigerator. I heard it. As soon as I open the door, though, the light come on, they stop. I heard it. Yes. So if you guys think that food don't talk, don't communicate in the refrigerator, I can't say talk, communicate, y'all wrong. Okay? Because now I had to wrap, here's what I had to do. I had to wrap the cheese up in tin foil so the bologna wouldn't know what it was. I'm just telling you. There are all kind of things go on my refrigerator. Anyway, enough of that. I just thought I'd let you know that. One of these days I'll bring in an audio piece and I'm gonna put a recorder in there. Except I just don't want to put my recorder in there and it'll get cold or something like that and mess up. Anyway, good morning to you. It is 6:47 in the morning, and the word of the day. Now, the word of the day fits a particular caller to this show. Okay. Now, I think he's a good guy. I think he's a good guy. And sometimes, and most of the time, he is right. Okay, kind of like myself. Now we don't agree on all the things, especially when he impugns my character, telling me I'm not a paratrooper. Now that irks me, but that's okay. When you know the truth, you just hear it and keep on going. You don't even worry about it. So, but the word of the day means a person who stimulates or annoys other people, especially by persistent criticism. Let me give that definition again. A person who stimulates or annoys other people, especially by persistent criticism. Now, this word was given to Don Markwell for a while, but Don's no longer with us, bless his soul. So now we're going to transfer this word over to, we're not going to call him curmudgeon again. No. The word is gadfly. Okay, the word for the day is gadfly. So you're going to school today, and you can tell Mr. Johnson, Elkins back there is a gadfly. I can't do homework. I can't do anything done because he keeps gadflying. No, again, the word gadfly, Gadfly, gadfly. A person who stimulates or annoys other people, especially by persistent criticism. So we're gonna curmudgeon is not gonna be called curmudgeon anymore. He's gonna be called gadfly. Okay, gadfly. I originally gave that name to 50-50, but he's no longer with us either anymore. Bless his soul. And so now we got to give it to curmudgeon. Okay, I'm just saying that's the way it works. That's the way it works sometimes. Anyway, good morning to you. Now, what is the lesson of life today? Now, the lesson of life today is a very simple one, simplistic one. It doesn't take forever to learn this one, but it is nice to know that it's out there. Okay. People act like they care about you, right? They do. They especially when you got something that they be wanting. Okay. That may not be correct grammar, but that's ghetto grammar there. We don't do. When we got what they want. Okay. Want, W-O-N-T. Okay. Or want, W-O-N-T. Want. Whichever. Well, these are the things that we learn. And this is something that you ought to pay close attention to this lesson of life because it will serve you well as you travel the complex roads of living. Okay? Now, don't you ever think that people care as much about you as they say they do, because they really, really don't. So here's a piece of advice that you can use. If you use this piece of advice, you'll be better off for it. So at 6:51 in the morning on May the 12th, here is the advice. Don't tell your problems to everyone. Why is that? Because 80% of the people don't care. And the other 20% glad you got them. Okay, I'm just telling you. That's just the way it is. Don't tell them your problems to everyone. Because 80% of the people do not care. And the other 20%, well, they want to put some more on you. So don't do it. Tell your closest confidant, your closest friend, your mom, your dad, somebody, but don't tell your friends that they will use it against you big time. I'm just telling you, don't do it. Keep your problems to yourself or tell your mom. Because you can tell mom, like I told my son, me and my son had a conversation last night, you can tell me anything you want to tell me. Anything you want to tell me. You disagree with me, you can tell me you disagree. Not a problem. We only have two rules between me and him, or him and I. Always tell me the truth, okay? And whatever you do, when you disagree, you do it with respect. Because when I was coming up, you got the same butt whooping whether you told the truth or told a lie. So it's more advantageous to you to tell a lie and try to get out of it. But that's not the way I wanted to do it. No. It should be more advantageous to tell the truth. Now, you'll be consequences. There are consequences, but you won't get smacked. You won't get beat for telling the truth. Because I need to know. I told my boy, I said, listen, parents, and if you're a parent, you know what I'm saying. You will hurt somebody over your kids. You will move heaven and earth if it was any way possible to get to your child and not let anybody hurt. Women, fathers are no different. Okay, but the way I see it, is, well, you need to, if I'm going to go to jail for you, at least let me go to jail. At least let me go to jail on the truth and not on the lie. Okay, that's just the way I see it. So always tell your parents the truth. Don't tell them a lie, and hopefully they won't smack you. Anyway, it is May the 12th, the 132nd day of the year. On this day in 1949, Soviet Union lifted the Berlin blockade, which Western powers had succeeded in circumventing within the Berlin airlift. In 1780, during the Revolutionary War, the besieged city of Charleston, South Carolina, surrendered to British forces. 1932, the body of Charles Lindbergh Jr., the 20-month-old kidnapped son of Charles and Ann Lindbergh, was found in a wooded area near Hopewell, New Jersey. The year was 1937. Britain's King George was crowned at Westminster Abbey. His wife, Elizabeth, was crowned as Queen Consort, whatever that means. 1943, during World War II, the Axis forces of North Africa surrendered. The 2-week Trident Conference, headed by President Franklin Delano Roosevelt and Prime Minister Winston Churchill, opened in Washington. The year was 1955. Manhattan's last elevated rail line, the 3rd Avenue L, ceased operation. 1958, I was 1 year old, didn't know what the hell was going on. Barely know what's going on now. 1958, the United States and Canada signed an agreement to create the North American Air Defense Command, later known as the North American Aerospace Defense Command, or otherwise known as NORAD. In 1978, the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration said the hurricanes would no longer be given female names. Listen, we're headed downhill when we think we're offending storms. Okay? We think we are offending storms by giving them women's names. Does anybody know any other species on God's green earth to raise more hell than a woman when she's mad? Seriously? Anybody? Really? Well, I tell you. Political correctness, even in Noah. Okay? I tell you. What's America coming to? Used to be, this was a country where we can insult you and you just had a right to be insulted. 1982, in Fatima, Portugal, security guards overpowered a Spanish priest armed with a bayonet who attacked Pope John II. In 2008, according to Pope's longtime private security, revealed that the pontiff was slightly wounded in the assault. In 2002, Jimmy Carter arrived in Cuba, becoming the first U.S. president in or out of office to visit since 1959, revolution that put Fidel Castro in power. And in 2003, the Texas House ground a standstill of 51 Democratic, the Texas House came to a standstill after 51 Democratic lawmakers left the state in a dispute over Republican congressional redistricting plan. See, the Democrats only like their plans. See, and both of them do this. Both of them do it. They both do it when they're in power. They both gerrymander districts. They both do. Now, and the only problem I got with this is that People actually believe. They actually believe that gerrymandering is for you. It isn't. Gerrymandering is for the political party, not you. So don't ever think they gerrymandering because they care so much about you. That is a lie from the pit of hell. They don't care jack about you. Okay, I'm just saying you might want to take that into consideration. So the next time that they start gerrymandering, you won't think that they're doing it for you because they're not. They're doing it for their own party. These two private parties. You know, I'm thinking we ought to do away with primaries. Seriously, we ought to do away with primaries and just let people go vote on the day you vote, and whoever gets one more vote than the other guy, that's the guy who wins. Primaries is a way to manipulate the system. Okay, really. I mean, it is. It manipulates the system. And I'm gonna have to put a one man thing here that we don't really need primaries. Okay? Primaries are no, they're not very good. I hate it because all they do. I mean, you sit there and win the race. You win the race, and they tell you, yeah, you didn't get 51%. Where in the Constitution is that? Somebody show me that in there. Where you have to get 51%. All you got to do is get one more vote than the other guy, and you got more votes. I'm just telling you. Let's do away with the primary process. Okay? It's a it's a Republican and Democrat way to manipulate races. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, we'll be back.
Deborah Rodriguez. The pandemic era rule that allowed officials to turn migrants away without fees expired at midnight, raising concerns about a new wave of asylum seekers coming into the U.S. Correspondent weather forecast is in El Paso. At points all across the southern U.S. border, migrant men, women, and children can be seen arriving as Title III travelers. Border Patrol estimates about 16,000 migrants are waiting in northern Mexico. Also, 25,000 seated holding facilities. About 400 are categorized the border in El Paso, Texas, where the two government resurrected hardcore homes. Tonight, a federal judge in Florida blocked the government to release migrants at holding stations. While the COVID emergency is over in the U.S., CBS News medical contributor Dr. Stephen Gallagher says the virus is still a threat. About 1,000 people are still dying from COVID per week in the United States, making it the seventh leading cause of death, down from number 3 in the early days of the pandemic. A 24-year-old Marine veteran is expected to turn himself in New York City today to face a manslaughter charge after he choked a black homeless man to death on a subway car. Legal analyst Ricky Clemens take a reasonable jury would not believe that Daniel Penny intended to kill Jordan Nato, but a jury could believe, beyond a reasonable doubt, that the actions were not justified and that the law. Witnesses say Neely had been harassing riders. Police questioned Penny and released him. The National Weather Service is surveilling the damage after reports of at least 10 tornadoes in Oklahoma. CBS's Roxanne Sparks-Asbury reports from Noble. Videos of the tornado on the ground last night in Goldsby, Oklahoma. It was one of at least 10 tornadoes that hit the state. Most of the was down trees and debris. However,
engineers, and physicists.
Next meeting between President Biden and congressional leader has been postponed until next week. Problems as aides will continue working behind the scenes.
Congressional leadership claims to be a status. The staff, they're working amazing.
People with severe allergies may not have to deal with it anymore. The advisors are recommending an nasal spray to reverse like that. Use it instead of EpiPens. This is CBS News.
Fight your next great hire with Indeed. Hiring platform makes it easy. In fact, interview and hire candidates all at the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare. Paper healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month. And that's huge. It's also true that people are ready when they're satisfied after making the switch. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love it. It's mental health and a huge nature of the PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want to plan your life with it, you can call. You can type in 2 minutes. Very, very smooth. Here's the number you need. 866-88-FIBO. That's 866-88-FIBO. 866-88-FIBO.
A couple of fishing competitors with some heavy walleye are going to jail. CBS's Jim Priscilla has the story.
Talk about a fishy story. 2 men who admitted stuffing fish with lead weights and fish fillets to try and win thousands of dollars in an Ohio fishing tournament last fall have been sentenced to 10-day jail terms. Jacob Runyon of Broadway Heights, Ohio, and Chase Kaminski of Harvard, Pennsylvania will also have to give back a $100,000 book they received in the competition.
Last night's Academy of Country Music Awards on Amazon Prime. Martin gave you new song, World on Fire, and Chris Stapleton took home the night's biggest award, Entertainer of the Year. He dedicated it to
accuracy. Maybe that's a lot of my time, one of my life's favorite things to do. This is to do.
Yes, CBS News.
score is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Or you can buy credit scores and you're safe. When asked on call, you pick your credit spell. That's 833-404-833-404-GO.
Forcing those things always get changed with you because we're spoken lessons all comes back. A few weeks after we started that, I started making 3 improvements, and today 99% of physicians are wrong. I feel nutrition. But I realize that's the thing you can do for your body. So I get it right. And
Find a needle in a haystack. They're powerful matching technologies, and there's so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a call candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
He's the voice of the conservative.
And welcome in, everybody. Hope this day finds you well. The time on the clock right now says that it is 7:09 in the morning. Now, I am expecting a couple of guests. If they show, probably be on in the mornings. They said, I ain't getting paid for this. I'm going back to sleep. Some people say, I'll be there first thing in the morning. And so that's why I never really tell people who's going to come in the morning. But if they get up in the morning and if they feel tired, so, although they could just call, really not come down. Yeah, going on some good things here. Good morning, who's this? Yes. Well, I think it's not unusual for people to support people who have the same philosophy or close to the philosophy that they adhere to, rather than one that is totally opposite. So, I've been putting up with that for years. I happen to agree. I don't necessarily agree with the Republicans, but I happen to agree with the basic philosophy of the Republican Party more than I do the Democratic Party. Not the people. Mhm. But do you actually? But let me ask you: do you actually believe that we can be the same color, but we don't have to be the same kind? We can think independently of one another. Do we have to be against somebody because we're for somebody else? Yeah. Hmm. But I think that's kind of but wait, I think that's kind of hard to say anybody's turning their back. We all have to think the same. But you don't have to do that for the city races. You don't have to do that to the city races. No, you don't. Well, William Green, that's why William Green's sitting at home right now because he shouldn't have did it. Well, what, and you can still believe in what you believe in without putting Republican or Democrat to it. No, listen, right, right. But Democratic Party and but wait, Democratic Party and Republican Party are private organizations. They're private organizations. Yeah. Well, that may be a truism. That may be a truism. I'm for the receiving reward. Right. Okay. Listen, yeah, I don't argue with what you say that. But the only argument with you is that we all have to be the same because we happen to be black. Really? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Appreciate it. We'll be back. Isaiah Sankey's with us for a couple of minutes. Tell us about something. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but
We're just doing right. Man. Oh, I get it.
but we ain't all got to think the
We
same.
have difference of opinion.
Yeah,
We
we
don't have
got
to be mad
different
with each
opinions.
other.
Somebody said if everybody thinking the same, somebody ain't thinking. My.
We expect our young people to be really engaged and in tune to all the issues that impact the communities they serve.
Although they are trying to give city council raises along the mayor. I think the mayor should be here. They're trying to raise it from I think 90, 100 to 150. It should be 100. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, just
Base that.
well,
They get the salaries.
yeah, it ought to be. First of all, you got to give people enough money so they are not susceptible to.
Now that's problematic.
Wait a minute. If you can barely buy groceries and you the mayor of the city because you don't make enough money, I mean, hey, you got to feed the kids still. I'm not saying that's what it is.
One thing about Congress people,
They make 174,000 on top of the table, but I'm pretty sure they make some money at the table too. How the hell do you go in there a thousandaire and come out a multi-millionaire making $174,000 a year? Yeah, everybody getting paid. That's me. Yeah, I won't let them
I won't let them hoodwink the revelation. Bring it over here. Oh, well, you got to turn it down. Right, here's the thing right here. I guess they do, right? Everybody. Hey, Graham, Green, she represents the area. I used to live in Rome. Rome, I like it. I like anybody that's different. Anybody that's saying something different. I don't know. That's good. They said Jesus was controversial. So I don't. Now, it's when you become irrational that I got an issue. But if what you're saying makes sense, okay. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're entitled to your own opinion. And I don't know if he's totally. I don't know if he's totally wrong. Where's the last statesman we had? I think Truman was a statesman. Kennedy. But Bush could have been, but he came across as a Wilson winner. Yeah. Winston Churchill, of course, he wasn't. But a statesman can bring about. He gets respect from everybody. I think if Trump shut up, if Trump would shut up sometimes, he could do one. But he just can't do it. He's used to being a boss and not a leader. Yes. That's what yeah. Yeah. I'm tired of doing that. Yeah. Okay, good morning, everybody. We are back. A little last night there. Our guest is Commissioner Isaiah Sankey. Join us for a couple of minutes to talk about what we want to talk about. Well, good morning. You good morning to listeners. You know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and there's so much going on out there to stress us out and play a role in our mental health being. Mm-hmm. And so we want to make the people aware of the mental health resources that are available to you in the county. So County Commission District 4, in conjunction with Troy University downtown, is sponsoring a mental health symposium coming up May 18th. That's next Thursday. We're going to be there all day long from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. right downtown at Troy University in the Whitley Hall there, upstairs in the Gold Room. And there's a number of topics, number of presenters who will be there. We talk about aging and dementia and how that process can weigh heavily on the family members as well as those who are impacted by dementia. So that would be someone there from Central Major Consortium. We have robotics that we're using for the elderly now, those who are experiencing loneliness and isolation. Where we have robotic animals that mimic real puppies and cats and birds to engage with them and to address the loneliness and isolation. We also have someone there from Family Guidance Center to talk about anxiety and depression of kids and the help of grandparents. You know, a lot of times living with grandparents, help the grandparents deal with that aspect of raising kids and those who may be affected from depression. We also have someone that's going to be dealing with veterans. Veterans who have emotional challenges, behavioral challenges. Someone there from Urban Extension Service talked about farming. And have a program where veterans will be allowed to farm and they have land, a plot of land in their backyard of 300 acres. The Extension Service of Alabama has programs for veterans to help them engage in farming, whether it's growing crops or bringing livestock to the market, or them to help them create a business out of that environment. So we're really excited about what we are doing with veterans these days in the area. It doesn't necessarily have to be related to mental health for veterans. We are going to hold on one. I may have to cut you off and keep going with this. 1 second. 1 second. Hey guys, hey, call me right back. I'll bring you right on. Okay then. Okay, and just a couple more things, just for the listening audience. We have the sheriff department there to talk about de-escalation. Sometimes when we are having a mental health crisis out there in the community, law enforcement is called, and it could result in something that's not too good if law enforcement is not trained to de-escalate the situation. So we'll be talking about that, and we'll also be talking about the Crisis Diversion Center. We just opened the Crisis Diversion Center Caraway on the Montgomery Health. Hold that thought, right? Hold that thought right there. We'll get right back to you. I got one of my new sponsors on the air with us. Good morning. How are you doing? Well, good. I am doing fine above ground, and the ground's not above me. So we're doing good. Tell us who you are and what you do. Well, know what you do, because as a former man who used to march with boots on and jump out of airplanes, sometimes my feet kind of remind me I'm not as young as I used to be. So tell us a little bit about what you can do for us. Now let me ask you, are there certain nuances with our feet that a apparatus like what you're going to put in their shoes and they can't help you, or can these particular pieces of equipment help just about everybody? Where the other ones at? I only know one. I mean, yeah. Outstanding. Hmm. So let me ask you something. Do people with bigger feet uh, have more problems than people who look like mini feet like mine? Hmm. So if we come out there, if we come out there to the Good Feet store, um, it sounds like to me that everybody probably needs to come out there to want at least one to check whether because there could be things going wrong with us, our back or whatever the case may be, could be directly affected by our feet and the shoes we wear. So you guys can help them out and take a look. So they need to come out there for a little checkup anyway, right? Right, and absolutely. Listen, if your feet's not working, you're not working because they're involved in everything we do. So we need to come out there to the Good Feet store. Where are you located here in Montgomery? Okay. And the advantage of coming to you guys, you get a arch, a apparatus that is made specifically for you, not just going to the store, grabbing off the shelves like Kellogg's cornflakes, but one that is specifically made for you. And nobody else got any. Your feet are different than anybody else's feet that you're ever going to run into. I guess that's about a pretty good statement. Yeah. Is there a phone number out there we can call? Okay. The Good Feet store. Well, thank you and welcome aboard. And hopefully, my feet and many, many, many other feet will follow my feet to the Good Feet store. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, again, let me take the last break of the hour here. We'll come back and we'll talk to our good friend, Mr. Commissioner Isaiah Stanky. And we'll talk to him about a little bit what's going on. What question I have to ask you? If I got a mental health problem, won't I be the last guy to know? Not necessarily. Okay, well, that's all. We'll be right back. It seems like to me, if I'm crazy, I don't know it. Oh, okay. Mm. What is it? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you have to talk to
I ain't never had a problem with that. Well, I mean, but if I live in 66 next week, you couldn't have to say. It's got to be drugs in that soda because I'm in the store. I'm trying to not to go over there.
It's addictive.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I'm trying not to. I mean, my Lord, and crack is worse than this.
I had to have a cook the other night. I just had to have it.
If crack is worse than this, I can see why the nation was in trouble. My Lord. And go to a fast food restaurant, you might just say, give it to me. Because they're right there in front of you. You're trying to ignore them. They pour the pound.
It's all psychology.
I'm sorry,
if you live to be 60, don't you start to think?
But I got 6 pack in the refrigerator. But that's the last 6 pack. Now I got the no sugar Coke. I got that. Got it just don't. Now if I'm out in the desert and it's hot as hell out there, that no sugar Coke gonna be good.
Yeah.
It don't taste like real thing. I'm done with that. They don't.
They're cheap.
Yeah. I have lost weight and stuff. And plus, I started taking the all the time I've been had this, I never would take the pill because I said I don't want to be stuck on a pill every day. And then I found out that you can have diabetes and it can mess up things, but you don't feel no. Then the lady told me that it could give you relief. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that. I started taking the pill. I started taking my Jardis. Yeah. I started taking it now. And it does help. Okay, yeah. Yeah, once you take that, you do. But it actually helps me because I get in my competition. And they told me to take a half, but I don't take the whole. I just break it out. And they gave me $25. But I tell you something, I ain't never taking that for me because they just keep that.
This is the problem.
After one night of setting into all night long, oh no.
We usually get
No, it sure wasn't just for me. Don't kill with those head. They gave me something else, and that's a lot. Whatever it is, anything you add 500 to it, that's a lot. I thought the city and the county, I thought we have a mental health facility now.
We do. Well,
it doesn't look like they put many people in it because on TV, it just is a small place.
We still use it. That was just the crisis.
Why does it seem that we can't seem to provide the things we actually need, the things we really don't need? You know, I'm all for the white water plant, but the things we don't really need, we can't seem to get.
Who's in charge? Those people who are influencing us, what they can do.
And we're back. 860-1440 is our number here. You can text me 241-9998 if you need to do that. If you don't want everybody in town to know New York is my official Los Angeles, we can get away with saying what we want to, but there's so many of them down there, half of them illegal. But here, hey, here, yeah, we're all related to somebody here. If you want to text me 241-9998. Our guest this moment is Commissioner Isaiah Sankey. Tell us about an event that's going to happen next week. Let me take this call. Good morning. Who's this? Yes.
Good morning, Reverend Sankey. I'm doing well. I'm speaking for myself. I don't know how Kevin.
I'm doing all right.
Well, we do have someone, having one from DOC, hadn't really thought of that, but we have someone from the sheriff's department that's talking about de-escalation, how if you're in front of a person with a mental health challenge in the community, how you get there in assistance situations so they get out of hand where either the law enforcement personnel are hurt or injured or the person who experienced the problem with them. So we have training in that area, get them to the scene, we try to de-escalate. We're also going to have someone from the crisis prevention talk about those players out there and how to use that person to deal with the mental health challenges for that. There's going to be a number of people there that are engaged in that area, that talk about the resources that are available to people.
Now, listen, I think that maybe black folks ought to give them some money. Hey, some of that money, you know, help them get elected. Yeah. Yeah, I don't talk to everybody. Okay, well, let me get another call in, Berger. I'm saying, but it's always good to talk to you.
Thank you so much.
Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning. I'm doing well, Pastor Jim.
Everybody know who it is.
You know, with this radio, it's like television. You can see the people. Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome, sir.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Good morning in there.
Morning, sir. Well, I'm not sure what area that.
I am just like the transgender people. Wait a minute, I'm just like the transgender people. I'm identifying as spiritual.
There's a. Well, I'm not sure I understand the question, but I'm sitting in the office at the time that we actually funded it. It's going to have to be with it, yes, sir. I'm part of it by virtue of the fact that I sit there in that kind of commission seat, and that is a project that was initiated by the kind of commission. As an individual, not as an individual, but I take full responsibility since it happened on my watch. I don't have the exact figures, but it was supposed to be a $60 million project, and it's up to $85 million. I wish I had that answer because I'm concerned about that as well. It was certainly an issue with well, I won't say that we've been lied to, but it's causing more than originally anticipated.
But so does everything else now. Yeah, okay.
We can certainly come back and talk about it in detail.
Yeah, but right now we're talking about something else. Okay, this ain't the whitewater. As a matter of fact, next week, Gadfly. Let me ask you, next week, Singleton's going to be here along with the lady who's in charge of the cooperative district thing. Okay, so you can ask all them questions. Well, they told me they're coming. Well, if they don't come, then they lied to me. Okay, what came first time? Well, I'm telling you, that's what I've been told. That's what I've been told. Yeah. Anyway, appreciate it. Let me take one more call. Then we got. Oh yeah. Well, let me take this call. Then you get back. I get you long enough for me anyway. So good morning. Who's this? Yes. Quickly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Mm.
So there's been millions of dollars appropriated for mental health. So the price of emergency has reached $6, $7, $8 million. 5 million in the state of Minnesota, and we have 5, 6, 7 million from the state. So money is being put into mental health. That's a national crisis. Mental health, we have a national crisis. Money is being put into mental health. But anyway,
Let me get one more. Then I'm gonna give you the last 5, 6 minutes. Good morning. I got people waiting. They want to talk. Y'all don't come up enough. So Good morning. Who's this? Good morning.
Good morning.
All righty. Well, I guess it's I said Reverend, thank you. Everybody else, we'll get back to you guys next hour. Let him finish this. Oh, you want to go again? Okay. Good morning, on the air. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Hey, COVID, baby. COVID. That's all they had to say was. Yeah. Yeah. The bank makes you take that mask down when you go in there when you're doing business up there. They don't let you have the mask on. But when Democrats get in charge, they tell everybody to wear a mask now. Then Then make an excuse when you rob the bank. You had a bad childhood. Yeah, yeah, but this Democrat always doing it most of the time. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hmm. Right. When did that happen? They didn't have enough sense not to go down deep down to the ground. Right, right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Now listen, if you're listening, we're past the data broke right now. I appreciate it. Anyway, give me your last word.
Well, yeah, but even your show is provided and
Yeah,
outlets in terms of mental health
yeah,
and the other stuff. People can express themselves
yeah,
and mentally.
yeah.
We appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah.
But the mental health symposium, your
Now,
mind
my
matters.
lips ain't made of rubber here. Okay, so let's not don't give me too much of that.
Your mind matters. Mental health symposium, Thursday, May 18th, at 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. This has been done by Commissioner Isaiah Sankey, District Court Commissioner, in conjunction with 12 University downtown. If you there on the campus right downtown in the gold room upstairs of what we call the dementia, which is regarding dementia and the elderly, the veterans, the children, the escalation as it relates to county law enforcement and people with mental challenges. And we'll be talking about the crisis of emergency. So a lot of things there, not just lecturing, but things that can really impact that mental health and wellness space. We appreciate the opportunity to come on. Happy Mother's Day, talking about.
Yeah. One more thing. One of the issues that you guys do in public office, you have to deal. I think it's sort of unfair, but you know, if somebody calls Isaiah Sankey and says, in North Pass the grass is hot, or they call you 2 weeks later, the grass still hot. 3 weeks later, the grass still hot. Or 6 months later, the grass still hot. You don't have to cut the grass. Your job is to inform the people who are responsible for that. So I don't think it doesn't get irritating. Say, listen, if it was up to me to cut it, I'd go out there and cut it. I mean, when things don't get done, it's not because you guys don't want to get it done, but there's a process by which you guys have to go through.
There's a process, and housing code is the example that you gave me. I know you're going to give that as an example. Housing code, I would call housing code. Then I would give them the information, what the location is, and then I would also encourage the citizen who's calling to begin to be proactive and call housing code themselves. And so if it didn't get cut in 6 months, something is terribly wrong.
So now, can we blame at that point at 6 months? Would it be fair to blame you for not having the influence it takes to get it done?
Probably not.
Okay.
But I'll take the responsibility.
Yeah. Okay. Well, as long as you don't quit on it, as long as if you raise enough hell down there, somebody's gonna do something. It takes a while sometimes to get it done. Whether it's Audrey Graham, you, or anybody else, you don't have to do this. So therefore, it ain't you who don't want to get it cut. Mickey. Anyway, let us. Well, my time is up this hour, so
You don't have to wear this one.
Yeah, you're gone. I'm picking you up. Not a problem. All right, two old military buddies in there. It's rare that we get three military guys in the same room right now. Yeah, although you still late, but we still up. That's true.
Somebody got to stay in the room. Thank you all.
Good to see you.
I got it, sir.
Wonderful.
Hey,
Thank you for making the chair warm.
a medic is probably the only leg that I can deal with.
Swear to God, honest God's truth. I was in Uganda. We were evacuating the U.S. Embassy. I got a broken nose. I got hit in the face with the butt of a rifle. Got a soldier broke my nose. I'm laying on the ground bleeding, waking up. Medic comes over, treats me. I can read his name tag. He was a nice guy. Young dad. Never thought of it. 5 years later, I'm watching TV and I'm going, I medic with the grandson of
Really?
grandson was a medic. Yeah, we were evacuating the U.S. Embassy. And, I was running up the stairway, and it was the guy just hit me right here. He had a grenade.
Weekend. The pandemic in 2022 is gone.
I went back in and asked that guy
One story.
Still out there. Today to discuss the debt ceiling and possible default, but they postponed until next week. Correspondent Carmen. In the Middle East, Palestinian militants told news reports this week at least 31 Palestinians have completed the past 3 days of fighting. One person in Israel has been arrested for the attack on TV, which is transition medicine.
He's there. Right there.
Negative codes for the maybe outdated news article or sensitive personal information on your phone. Search engines don't always get it right. The right or wrong, your reputation is wrong. After a reputation defended on your defense, one of the most trusted names in online reputation defense. Reputation defenders enforcing people's virtual upgrades This would mean it's too valuable report of reputation all time 800-401-6666 speak to us. 800-401-6661. Another TV show is take place in England this weekend.
All right then. How you doing this morning?
I'm well. The painters at the office, busily working.
I'm sure I've people come through all the time. I don't know. And nobody.
What's the post-it notes? I think that's a good day. All right.
Talent extraordinaire.
Yeah, literally. One man on it.
Yeah. You know, they said the Texas Rangers said one riot, one ranger. That's what they say.
And a whole lot of ammo.
I had this kid showed up May 2nd. He's 6'7", he weighed 300 pounds. He was huge. We called him Up Man. One man on the floor.
I said Air Force. I said, you know, the Army.
Coast Guard now is considering becoming like a part-time service.
I mean, they do guard the waters and the wood, but and evidently, they can't guard the Rio Grande. So,
choose not to.
Yeah. So, okay.
Feeling the financial impact with unprecedented economic challenges, JetBlue is here for you. JetBlue uses secret programs that credit card companies won't tell you about. They'll help you consolidate or settle your debts for a fraction of what you owe. With JetBlue's success guarantee, you can
That thing keeps water cold for a week.
Really come a long way.
AI will put a whole lot of people out of job.
And the problem is, if we allow that, quality of the incentives for our young people to succeed.
And therein lies a big problem. I mean, it's kind of like selling everything in the United States to some foreign entity and not having any control over it in your own country. I don't know. And good morning, everybody. Welcome back. You know, it's Friday, right? It's like weekend eve. Tomorrow's weekend. So, but I guess Mickey McDermott, attorney at law. So if you guys want to call up here and ask some questions or whatever, he's a brave man. He has a former police officer, so he can actually answer some of the questions. I don't know if the less policing has changed that much, but the basic principles, I guess, are still the same. And here's the one question, Mickey, that I got to ask you about being a police officer. We go on YouTube and we see all of these people in the police stop them say, I don't answer questions. I don't answer questions. Sovereign citizen. Do you have to answer questions when the police come to your door?
Oddly enough, that's the officer from the arrest warrant for probable cause to stop. No. Now, let me preface that with two parts. One, if a law enforcement officer asked you a legitimate question in the performance of his or her duties, and pulled you over on the side of the road for traffic offense, walk forward. Your duty down. Remember, the law is a set of rules and regulations that we as a people of the law. And so I can put it that we give them certain powers, rights, and then we retain certain powers, rights. You mentioned sovereign citizen. I highly recommend that the listeners don't fall for that, because and there's another one, I believe it's called Scottish sovereignty. We've seen 3 or 4 of these movements around the country, simply saying that I'm in the United States, but I'm not of the United States, so you have no authority over me. That might work if it's a 4-year-old running around the house and I'm not going to eat food. But a grown man and a woman walking down the streets, dealing with law enforcement, traveling on our highways, living in our communities, there are rules and regulations that apply to all of us. I have dealt with sovereign citizens who refuse to let their children be interviewed by the Department of Human Resources. I'm going to reduce that. Well, I assure you, those children are inside the court system, authority over. So that sovereign citizen stuff didn't go very far in those days. We've had sovereign citizens who come to traffic court and say, I don't have to obey that red light. And I'm telling you, they'll come in and the municipal court judges will look at them and let them make their argument. These 15 pages of some legal treaties from Sweden in 1920s, which they accepted in Montgomery County for that. And it said that law enforcement officers have no rights to leave. The problem with that is in Alabama, almost an officer driving on our roads and all the taxes to the construction. We pay taxes on regulators and monitored by law enforcement officers. And we have a understand that the reason that law is is legitimate on the other side. That's the example. We have to say I'm a sovereign citizen. That red light doesn't apply to me. Make that argument all day long. You might lie all day long, but you make that argument.
Right. Go phone right quick. Good morning. Who's this? Good morning, Miss Daisy.
This day, I want to start off with Happy Friday, Happy Mother's Day to you and all the mothers out there. Those that are still with us and those that have passed on, hopefully in the arms of Jesus. But, well, hang in there. I want to come in. I want to come in one day when Kevin and I sing Happy Birthday at 100. Okay. Okay. Well, back to your question. Some jurisdictions do this. I can't speak for the Montgomery Police Department. I've only since moved out of that career, but some jurisdictions, especially in smaller jurisdictions, they will call before they dispatch a deputy, and they'll have an officer who will answer questions. And if they feel kind of like screening to it, if they feel it's necessary to send an officer or deputy, imagine police force like, say, the Lowndes County Sheriff's Department, you can find them. West is a good one, really modernized and often Lowndes County Sheriff's Department in the forefront. Technology, this down and staffing, really for that. If the jurisdiction, or he may only have 5 or 4 deputies on the budget, and he's got a huge team. And dispatching a deputy 30 or 40 miles is a resource. And sometimes law enforcement has to really manage your resources. I'll give you a greater example. I have a friend who runs a small sheriff's department out in Arizona. We were in the Army together, and he's been the sheriff of this county. This county is over 600 miles wide. He has 3 deputies on each one, including himself. So they regularly give people their cell phone numbers. They give the deputies and the chief or the sheriff. Say, look, before you call 911, if you got questions, call us. We can screen it before we put a resource 200 or 300 miles in your direction. And we're fortunate that we live in a more community that we have greater than that. I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good idea. And as technology changes, I think that we're going to see police officers face time with technology. And at some point in time, I see that as one of the next tools in law enforcement.
Thank you, Ms. Baker. Let's like phone. I guess make an agreement. Turn it long. Good morning, on here.
Oh, the honorable. Happy Friday to you, sir. Kevin and I were just talking about this. We are afraid that just like they're saying, your crystal hamburgers made by
and Hardee's.
I think that beats the work ethic in this country, and it's bad for this country. Maybe good for a corporation and the bottom line, not good for the American people. When we get a computer, which is select number 4, when you call 911, number 4 is, do you have a fire emergency? And if so, press 1. If you have a water emergency, press 2. when we get that point, we have de-incentivized work ethic, the value of the American worker, and the value of the American citizen. If we let that happen for budgetary reasons, we have left our families and lost our way. Having well put I think you make a valid point. That I'm going to say it like I believe that Soros back doctrine major American cities. He was failing doctrine. It's a social experiment. I think it's already proven that it failed in this country. And if the leaders in those communities and the citizens in those communities allow that to continue, they suffer accordingly. I cannot tell you how many times we have decided not to go to Atlanta for crime rate. You cannot drive downtown Atlanta, not get accosted, not suffer consequences, not be in fear for your life, not be in fear to park your car, to go into a show or a restaurant. I will tell you, we are fortunate that the leaders in this state and in our community have still stood the tide of still being responsible, having enforcing basic human rights, and at the same time enforcing laws where the community still very still survivable. I'll say that. Still survivable. But I fear that if we cut our police force in the local area, if we pretty much limit enforcing traffic laws, I'm one of those people who believe that called the old broken windows theory. If you police at the community, the officer knows the citizens and the citizen knows the officer. We check on each other too. Make sure the trash is up and out. Make sure our neighbor know them by first name. If we can do that, we can maintain our society locally. But as we get social experiments every once in a while, we have them before in their history. I think this social experiment is going to play on this side.
And with that, hey, with that, we got to take a break. 8:22 in the morning. We'll be back. You can McDermott.
Plans for the weekend? I'm just gonna chill.
See if I can make me some money. You gotta find a computer to fix. Life is good. Can't complain.
You look like you feel good. Healthy.
For an old guy. Yeah.
You getting any exercise, walking?
Coming up here every morning. I do PT every morning.
Do you?
Every morning, yeah. 3 minutes.
Actually, any cardio is good. I walk from my office to here and I walk back.
Oh, you walk over here?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good little walk.
Well, there are parts of this downtown that people don't ever walk or go to. And there's amazing little buildings in there that are empty. There's an old bookstore up by AT&T, which used to be a black funeral home in the 30s. It's still got the old paint job on the outside, and I've seen nobody take pictures of it or study it.
I think my studio needs a revamping. Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm having the office painted. He's painting.
So you're going to keep your same office?
Matter of fact, I just signed a new lease with First Baptist. That building is owned by the church.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I moved out of my old building when the atheist boss bought it.
Over there on
High Street.
Yeah.
When the atheist moved in, so I went from the headquarters of the American Atheist Association to a church parking lot.
Okay. Good move.
God's got a sense of humor.
Good move.
It gets me closer to the courthouse.
Taken when Katie Hopper Twitter was restored.
Congratulations on winning your identity back.
Thank you.
Because without your own Twitter account, really, who are you? Wherever you listen. This belongs in practice. Your trusted local
So what do you think of them suing Facebook and I know the big Beasley and them are in cooperation with another law firm suing Facebook and Metaverse because our kids are not smart enough now to understand the difference between right and wrong in reality versus.
Well, in some states they are starting to move to force these social media platforms to have a screening tool that you have to be of a certain age to use, because a 12-year-old should not be allowed access to porn on the net. And if they can't come up with the technology to stop it, then they need to outlaw it because it is doing damage to our.
Well, yeah, okay, I would agree with that one, but I guess TV is no different.
It's a big difference. If your parents put that in and make it accessible in your home, that's your parents' responsibility. But if you're at school and you're supposed to be doing geography and they can't separate your geography lesson from a 30-minute lesson on porn, then they're failing in the system.
Well, in Prattville,
and technology-wise,
yeah,
partitions. You and I both know you can partition and limit access.
Well, you can, yeah, but that will be up to the parents, though, not the
school system.
All righty then, we are back into our world here. I gotta get my favorite song. Okay, where's my song? There we go. Wait, there you go. I still love Perry Mason till this day, the old ones and the new ones.
Well, I'm a fan of old radio programs. 1930s, 40s, and 50s.
Yeah.
But they weren't television dramas or radio dramas. If you listen to some of the old Perry Mason, something like that, the for it today. Perry Mason was not, he failed legal ethics 101 quite often.
Yeah. He only lost one case that I know of. Good morning on there.
Well, actually, I was in downtown Atlanta Friday 2 weeks ago, and I was 2 blocks from the state capitol, and I watched uh, two homeless men fighting in the middle of the street, blocking traffic. I watched a dozen, I looked at dozens of small pop-up tents in an alley next to the Coca-Cola Museum. I saw, I actually gave some money to a homeless woman walking around, or I think she was homeless. And she had an infant in her arms. Um, there are social services and social nets out there. The ones I saw were failing that community. And I was in downtown Atlanta for about 6 hours, and I never saw not one police car come through any of the streets. And then I went down to where they have the Ferris wheel, and there's some nice restaurants off of Peachtree Street. Law enforcement presence, lots of folks walking, and the streets were cleaner. And I'm going, wait a minute, I drove 6 blocks, and there's two different worlds.
Well, they got a street over there that separates us from the regular from the other people.
Well, and the well, yeah, well, you were in a high-end neighborhood there, but over near the Capitol, I was real disappointed in because that was the perfect place for there to be a homeless shelter, or maybe there is one and I just didn't see it. But there were tents underneath bridges. Now I'll admit we have those all over the country. I didn't say that, and I agree, and it's a shame and it's a failing of our safety net. But a lot of it's by choice. I think we all have to agree. A lot of that's by choice.
Yeah, a lot of people are so used to being out there, they don't want to go, but they don't want to come in.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, I just did. I said exactly the opposite. I believe that Montgomery is still being run from a leadership perspective in a fairly effective manner. Our streets are clean, the garbage is picked up. We have law enforcement that with limited resources. We have medical and treatment. We have a number of homeless people that come through, stay for a short time, and then move on. We have shelters in place. I think we still have a very viable community, a good place to live. Surrounding areas are good. We have recreation. I think we got a water park coming very soon. I think there's a lot of positives still living here.
Well, it's still a good idea, but from 30 to 85 million, 60 to 85 million.
Cost overrun.
Yeah.
That seems a little excessive.
Yeah. But I mean,
that leads us to question. Oh, I agree with you there. Yeah. Once you get made the investment,
appreciate it.
Stuck with.
Let me take another call. Good morning on there. Good morning. Good morning.
Well,
I don't know, but how long we gonna keep going way back there?
yeah, and quite frankly, yeah, well, I don't know exactly what you're saying, but I simply made a comment about Atlanta and what I observed.
But don't we do that in our own homes though? We figure out what has priority and what doesn't. Mm. I'm lost on that one.
Yeah, I really am too.
Yeah,
I have no idea where we're going.
Listen, there's no there doesn't take many resources to keep things clean. Okay, don't take me away. Don't take me too far back. Now I got a short amount of time. Listen, America is a great place. It's not a perfect place. Never has been. Never will be. Well, it's still a great country. But we're not a perfect country, so we can always work on something. Well, again, if somebody won't do it for you, do it for yourself. Life is not fair. It just isn't. But you got some things you got to take upon yourself and handle it. We become too. Okay, all right, all right. I got to go. Let me take this next call here, and we'll see what we can get to. Good morning. Good morning. Mm. Some people don't want to be helped. Some people don't want to be helped. You can't help people who don't want to be helped. I know some. I know some. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, they won't come on the radio. I've tried that too. Yeah. Okay. What is it? Okay, I got it. The sob story thing. I'm with you, but I've got a limited. I got a limited amount of time resources today. Now, let's. Okay. Hey, I love you. I'll give it to him. The piece of legislation just came out where they're gonna evidently, if you get caught drinking and driving, you have to have this thing on your car where you have to blow into, I guess, in order. They've done away with that.
It's called the ignition interlock system.
Right. Right.
It really comes into play with your first DUI.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pay to have it installed. Then there's a monitoring fee. And I have actually represented clients who were ordered to put the ignition interlock, and I've looked at the numbers, and I've advised them that it would be cheaper to simply not own a car during the time of their 1 year prohibition against driving without the interlock. It was cheaper once we did the numbers to hire somebody else or an Uber to drive them back and forth to work and to the store. Because the thing is cost prohibitive.
Okay.
And the evolution of DUIs penalties from first, second, third, fourth, where you're into the area of mandatory jail time, loss of your license for years at a time, the truly prohibitive court costs and fines.
Mm-hmm.
Going to jail
might be cheaper.
Well, actually, and people don't realize that in Alabama, reckless driving, 20 miles over the speed limit, most of the jurisdictions in the state of Alabama, if you drive 100 miles an hour, you're going to get 5 days of jail. And we get a lot of people on the interstate that come through, and I see them in court regularly, who are doing 105, 110 miles an hour coming from Florida, trying to get north, and they don't realize it. They have to consider a couple weekends in jail or 5 days at a stretch, huge fines.
Without hitting anybody?
Without hitting anybody. That's because the law is designed to ensure the safety of all the other drivers that are out there.
Or to make money.
Well, and the money is an incentive in some jurisdictions. There's no historical denying that. But back to your thing on DUIs, the DUI law is made more stringent to be as a impediment towards that activity. Get a designated driver. Give the keys up. Don't drive while you're drinking, because it is a problem. It leads to deaths and tragedies.
But if we go to a football game and we know they sell alcohol, we know that a bunch of people coming out of that stadium drinking and driving. Why don't we put the police outside the stadium?
We do. I'm telling you, you look at the numbers after an Alabama or an Auburn football game in the surrounding communities, the numbers are astronomical. They really are.
So why do they sell it?
Well, and why do they not have mandatory designated drivers? I'm not in charge of that, but as a matter of fact, I recently noted that they're going to sell alcohol at some of the, I think at the Alabama games this year.
Okay.
I have to admit, having been a student at Auburn years ago, it wasn't unusual for us to after the game, but we walked. We didn't drove.
All right, we'll come back with your comment. I guess Mickey McDermott, attorney at law. You want to, it seemed like we want it both ways, Mickey. Though we want to make the law, but we want to, but in order to make money, we're gonna or go the law unless it's somebody we really don't like.
I wouldn't characterize it that way.
Of course you wouldn't realize. We'll be back.
Why do I know that theme song?
But you can, I mean, let's just take the business thing. You know they do that. So, what, I mean, they're not responsible for you. I mean, that's what you say.
In fact, it says on the back of your ticket, you are not responsible if you were injured before, during, or after the game from an act of your own, an act of a third party, baseball bats.
Yeah.
Involved, yeah. And that's normal for most entertainment.
I guess so. I can't sit in a place for 3 hours. Either I don't even know I sat up here for 3 hours, but I couldn't talk. Other than that, I wouldn't do this job. Whew. Let's see what laws have been passed by, Justice Taney said that blacks would never be citizens of the United States. I have never heard that statement recanted by the Supreme Court.
Well, I think Hugo Black said that, or put that.
When Hugo Black was the
he recanted all of those arguments.
Okay, then, because I know I've never heard the Supreme Court. Okay, I never heard anybody recant that statement.
I don't remember anybody ever every statement from 200 or 300 years.
But that's a big one, though. You say,
but it's made by one person. It's not. It's not the mission statement of the nation. Look, I think you understand. People don't call it a sin. I call it a sin.
Yeah. But when he was the when he did the Chief Justice Taney. So when he said something, had a little more weight to it than an associate justice.
Well, and the fact that he said the nation, if the nation has spoken, rejection. Woodrow Wilson, who is a prominent Democrat, president of the United States, we still have the Woodrow Wilson Peace Institute. He's a violent one. The Democrats,
But so was Wallace. Wallace, he recanted it, but you really recant it.
Well, then what's the point of recanting? If you can't, and the heart of canning is there you go.
Yeah.
It's like the old gospel says, now is all known.
That's good. I just thought, how in the world does the Supreme Court, the United States Chief Justice, say that? I think we're not doing the dredge cop thing.
And individual racism and people who are in positions of power, all times they never change their views, who is successful in our society, and they're not the ones.
Right.
I'm watching the revelations and
those are pretty.
Last night they passed resolutions that we would outlaw all the funny conventions in our country.
I'm all for it.
Well, the problem is we outlaw quotas and the political. When you do that, we turn right around and say, okay, there can be no racial discrimination. Except, because the regulation says, except, here in California was not a slave state. So a state that never had slaves.
And we are back. I guess Mick McDermott, attorney at law, 860-1440 is the number. You want to give us a call, let's talk with everyone on your mind. And we got his last call. We'll see who was there waiting. Good morning. Yes. Good morning. Yes, sir.
Oh, heck yeah, I hope it succeeds.
Some people just want to have something to complain about. I mean, some people just want to have something to complain about. Yeah. Yeah. Keep the fight, brother. Keep the fight. And just so we don't forget nothing, Mickey actually is a soldier too. That's right. He's a real soldier though. Paratrooper and all that good stuff. We walk some of the same dirt. So he's a good man, good man. I'll rank me, but I wouldn't help. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I still be at the house right now with a shotgun.
Yeah, that was a good call. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, appreciate it. Hey, appreciate it. Let me take a couple more of them. Get your last word in a little bit, few minutes here. What a time to fly. Good morning, you're on there. Pretty good. Well, yeah. But this is American people have a right to complain. So I guess where you go. Yeah. Appreciate it. Good morning. Who's this? You're in there with Mickey McDermott. Yeah.
I understand it. I understand it's not an inpatient facility, it's not an outpatient discharge office. I think bed space, when I went into this thing, very limited resources. Unfortunately, there's large people in the society. Hopefully, the country will address that. Well, I think, like I said, I think it's now like an outpatient treatment facility. Can't speak to exactly what services they provide, but I have had clients that I've referred over there through the Montgomery Area Mental Health. And I think Montgomery Area Mental Health is operating the old well, I have to agree with you. I think our prisons have become, in large measure, the final resting place of far too many people who need mental health treatment.
Hey, appreciate it. You know, the Alabama Constitution says that there's supposed to be a county hospital for the maintenance of the poor. I mean, that's what the Constitution says, the Alabama Constitution. And evidently somebody forgot about that. So, I don't know. They changed it without telling us. Good morning, on there. All righty then. Good morning. Who's this? Yes.
Oh, I think it does emotional trauma. I think it gives them post-traumatic stress disorder. There are innocent men and women who have been convicted throughout history. There are innocent men and women in prisons today. There are innocent men and women awaiting trial in this country. I can't guarantee them that they'll ever get their justice in this life. Sometimes the only justice you can get before the Lord. That's unfortunate, and that's the end of that. But unfortunately, well, fortunately, we have legal sources, we have lawyers that couldn't create this. Okay, well, there are actually walk-in clinics at the Montgomery Area Mental Health, Girl Hospital. There are mental health walk-in clinics all over the state. Every county has one. Every county I've been in. And at any time, if you feel you need absolutely, you need some help, go to an emergency. I try to tell folks. I get people who call me all the time saying my daughter's suicidal or my husband's acting strange. Go to the emergency. Let them be seen by a trained physician. Maybe they'll get a referral. We have a facility in town called Crosspoint, which provides inpatient mental health through the Baptist Hospital System. We have some resources. They are limited, but please use them. Please. Amen, brother. See you all the time.
Appreciate it. Now, I've always been of the mindset, and just attribute that to my ignorance. But I always had the mindset, if you really were mentally off, you wouldn't know.
And in large measures, that may be true. There's lots of people who know that they're chronically depressed. They know they're not functioning like everyone else. They know, or their families and their friends will know something.
Yeah, I got that part.
But a lot of times it's onset. It's not long term. It just suddenly shows up.
Mickey McDermott, Law.
I wish you all well. Happy Mother's Day.
But I just keep thinking, if you really next, you won't know it.
Well,